Hello, Andrew. This is for the Musician video contest, and I figured that as long as we're in a Musician video contest, we may as well talk about the service itself. I didn't like it. I understand why people like it, and I understand why you like it, but it definitely wasn't for me. And there's a couple of reasons why it wasn't for me. One of the reasons was probably post-traumatic stress from the days back in elementary school where we used this thing called smart music, which was very much the same kind of software-based learning thing where you got to play your band pieces to a microphone and then submit it as homework assignments, and it was just so cool and new, and nobody liked it, and it was really broken. I think musician as a program is less broken, but it still has the same kind of feeling behind it. It also has kind of a limited library. I'm a person that listens to more unconventional things, and uh, the songs that I would want to learn from it aren't on the app itself. I think that the way that I think about music does not meld well with the way that musician portrays music, and that's just a personal preference thing. I know there's probably plenty of people that are going to have zero issues with musician as a resource, and I think it's a cool resource to have. It didn't work for me very well, and part of the reason is that I think about music in a much more geometric way. The songs that I like to learn, I'm a person that writes music, and as a music writer, I like learning new songs. And part of what makes learning new songs fun and interesting is that I get to use the same kind of ideas that these other artists that I enjoy use in their music in my own music. And so that means that I generally learn my songs by ear. I listen to a song over and over and over again, and I get an instrument, and I play it until it sounds right. And then hopefully sometimes I can glean ideas from that, or even learn how to play the guitar or a ukulele better. Musician is very much, if you want to play a song just like the person that wrote the song played it, then this is the resource for you. And that's not what I need as a musician. I think there are very specific cases where a thing like musician would work really well for me, but that's not where I'm focused at this point. I don't think I try to play things the way that they're necessarily written by artists. Sometimes I try to take a song's idea and then take like the melody and then turn it into something else, or take basic ideas of what the song is structurally about and then play it like that. So a basic example of this is in the song We Go Together. The way that musician has you play it is with the chord structures in the key of E, except you can't pull it on the third, so then it all becomes in the key of G. So then playing it like that makes sense when you're in a larger group setting. Like if I was in a band and there's other people playing the song with me and this is K-pop in the right spot, it would make sense to play it like that. But if I'm gonna play a song like that, I'm not gonna generally have the entire backing group with me. I'm gonna be by myself. And so if I played it by myself, you'd probably play it like this. We go together, 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 we go. And there's a lot of other ways you can change that chord structure. You can play it like this. You can play it like literally straight up. You can do the one that I like, which is think that learning songs independently sometimes is better, because then you can get to the music theory portion of it, and then the song itself makes more sense as a person that wants to compose music, and composing as an art form becomes less frightening, because you have this idea of how, here's how these songs, or here's how these chords are structured. So like I can learn the chords to certain songs even, and that's still something that I'm gonna need to work on, because some songs do things that are ridiculous. And here's a couple of examples of ridiculous things I just wanted to show you at some point. But since you have to watch this video, you have to watch me talk about 2 songs that I really wanted to have you think about before the cover. This I'm evil. So here's a circle of fifths, which is not a new concept in itself, but one thing that I thought about a lot is that a lot of times circles of fifths, like with pop songs, tend to have pretty neat structures. So we can have a song that's like in the key of C, and then goes to a G, then goes to an F, and then goes to an A minor, and then goes back to C. It's a pretty neat shape. Now the song Birdhouse in Your Soul by the Heavy Giants is ostensibly a pop song. It's a very poppy song, but it has 14 key changes in it, and it goes all over the place. By the end of the song, it kind of looks like this, where it hits almost every single spot on the circle of fifths, except ignoring, like, just this spot. It plays the minor of this, but just ignores the D flat entirely. It plays almost every single chord in a pop song, and I still don't get it. And I think that's neat. The other song that is very interesting is called Dummy Discards a Heart by the band Deerhoof, and it does a thing where it plays the same chord progression twice, but then because of the way the parts lead into each other, it's as if the song goes through a key change, and the 2 melodies, or the 2 chord parts that are exactly the same, have an entirely different context within the song, because I don't know how this works, but it's right here, and it sounds like this. With fire and war eating up the life around me, but I don't hear them make a sound. We have a long history, and I don't think she misses me, but every day I saw my trudging down to write these little nothing songs of love. To write these little nothing songs of love. It's cold when she reaches out, a bony arm pushing through the ground to grab my wrist and drag me down, to see her, to ask if I could only free her from the box I buried her in. It's not that I don't miss you, I just know that if I kiss you, you'll turn me into someone I don't want to be. It's hard to say goodbye so many times. It's hard to say goodbye so many times. Don't make me do it again, please, God. Don't make me do it again.